Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be able to connect with you. I felt pretty disconnected for a while. I know we kind of all are feeling it. So it's lovely to get to share some sort of space with you. Um, my name's Katie. I am a teacher at Black Crow. I've been on maternity leave for a while. I just had a baby. And I'm excited to sort of get back into teaching. In whatever form it looks like right now. So let's just begin by closing our eyes and finding a comfortable seated posture, whatever that is for you. Maybe it's on a block. If you don't have a block, a pillow can work, or any other sort of prop that might be good for you today. And just notice where you are in this moment. Maybe you're feeling like you need to be energized. Maybe you're feeling like you need to calm your energy down a little. If you're looking for that energy, just face your palms to the ceiling, resting your hands on your thighs. If you're feeling like you could use some grounding, your palms can face down and you can just rest those there on your thighs, on your knees, and just start to breathe. Just notice where your breath is in this moment. No pressure, no place you need to be, just being here in your body. Just taking a natural rhythm to your breath. Maybe starting to close your mouth and breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, finding your ujjayi breath, activating the whisper muscles in the back of your throat. Notice if, as you exhale, your vertebrae start to decompress a little. Just really using your inhale to send space between your vertebrae, and your exhale to release any tension hanging out in your body. Let's take just 3 more breaths like this here. And starting to let your eyes open, just taking your time getting there. Let's take a few circles with our crown of head just rolling forward and backward, just finding a little bit of movement in your hips, in your lower back. Finding an inhale as you come forward and an exhale as you reach back. Nice. And then take it in the opposite direction. Just take it for as many times as feels good to you. There's no rush here. You can always pause the video and go longer if it feels good, or skip the next thing and just take this a little longer, or go where your body's asking you to. No pressure, no expectations, no judgment, just you, your mat, your breath, your body. Let's inhale through center and exhale to walk your hands forward, just dropping down just to the degree it feels good to you. Maybe you're up a little closer to your body and bending your elbows. Maybe you're walking it further out. And take this for as long as feels good to you. And when you're ready, start to walk your way back up. And then just switch the cross of your legs and let's inhale, arms up, and exhale, diving forward, walking your hands forward. Releasing any tension, seeing if there's space to let go a little more. And being forgiving to yourself. Maybe you're pedaling back in your practice a little today. This is not our typical everyday life. This is much, much different. And so things might not feel the same in your body and your mind. And just forgive yourself for that. Just be where you are. Meet yourself there. Shake your head, no, and yes. And let's calm up and open up our neck a little more. So drop your head down and just rock it side to side. Opening up that space where your neck meets your shoulders. Breathing into that space. And then drop one ear down. Just breathe into that opposite side of neck. That left ear is coming down. Breathing into that right side. And then send it over to the other side. Dropping that left ear down, right ear down. Dropping that right ear down and breathing into that whole left side neck. Just taking as much time as you need here. Breathing space. Exhaling away any tension hanging out there in your neck. And then from here, just draw some little ovals with your chin on this side. Opening up that left side neck a little more, using that motion to melt away tension. Let's drop our left ear back down to shoulder and draw some circles. Opening up that right side neck. Nice. And then come back through center and bring your hands behind you and drop your head back and breathe into your throat, sending yourself some confidence, some voice, and your heart towards the ceiling. Let your shoulder blades drop back towards one another. Nice. And then come back through center and let's make our way onto all fours. So from here, taking all fours, lifting up through crown of head. Inhale to press crown away from tail, making a little more room in your spine. Then drop center of belly button down and breathe crown and tail high. Exhale to lift belly button and send crown and tail down. Inhale to lift crown and tail. Exhale to drop crown and tail, and just rotate through those. Just taking that movement that your body's asking for. Let that movement melt away tension. And then let everything around you melt away, which is challenging when we're at home and there's lots going on. My house too, trust me. See if you can just become in that place where you're a child and nothing else matters, and just rotate through and let your body take over. What's your body asking for? Some side to side movement, looking over one shoulder and then the other. Maybe even walking one hand out and pressing into the opposite hip. Just really explore what your body needs, right? Because in this time at home that looks so different than our regular life, we're all living so differently. Some of us are finding ourselves sitting more, and some of us are finding ourselves walking nonstop. And so it really depends on how you're living in your body, what you're going to need from this practice. So just let your body tell you. Don't think about it too much. Just go there with the shapes. If I cue something and it doesn't feel good, then take what does, right? Don't force yourself into a shape that doesn't feel good to you in this moment. Let's bring our knees out and our hands forward, drop our hips down and come into a child's pose. Just letting your forehead drop down. Scanning through your body and just seeing if you can soften a little everywhere. Soften in your elbows and in your armpits. Soften in your shoulders and your eyebrows. Let your neck and backs of shoulders soften a little more. And then soften that whole ripple down your spine. Let your ribs drop down towards the mat more. Let your hips drop between your legs a little more, maybe even a micro bit. That's a technical term, micro bit. Scan your legs. See if you can soften anywhere there. And your feet. And just breathe into this softer you. And stay here for as long as feels good to you. And when you feel ready, start to make your way back onto all fours. Plant your hands. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, and find your down dog, pedaling your heels out. Just noticing that opening in your hamstrings and your glutes, and that space behind your knees. And your toes. Find a way to drop your feet down onto the mat more and see if you can lift your toes and spread them wide. Nice. And maybe you rock side to side a little here, just really getting into this first down dog, feeling it in your body. And send that space between your shoulder blades back towards your thighs a little more. Nice. And then let's take a sun salutation here. Bending knees, lifting hips, looking forward, stepping forward, grounding down to rise up. Arms come up with you. And then from here, we'll take a sun salutation. So let's bend our knees, lift our hips, look forward, and step forward. Grounding down and stepping all the way up, pressing hands towards the ceiling. Letting your heels drop down. Lifting up a little higher, sending your thumbs towards the back of the room, opening your heart. Exhale, swan dive, heart first forward. Just bending your knees, opening those thighs, dropping your head down, shaking yes and no. And then let's plant our hands and step back, high plank. Really finding that space between crown and tail. See if you can press your shoulders away from one another. Pressing into all four corners of your hands. And then you can drop your knees down if it feels okay, or go right into your low plank. Bend your elbows, come towards the mat, press into your hands, press into the tops of your feet. Find your up dog. Send your heart forward. And then roll over your toes, send your hips back, downward facing dog. Taking big breaths here. Let's do another sun A. Bend knees, lift hips, look forward, step forward. Ground down to rise up, upward salute. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale through flat back. Plant hands, step back, high plank. Bending elbows through your low plank. Maybe your knees come down, maybe not. Hugging elbows to heart. Send your heart forward. And then press it back, downward facing dog. Pedaling your heels. Opening your calves. Big breath, lift hips. This time, let's lift our right leg, bend your right knee, and draw some circles on the ceiling with your right knee. Send that right foot forward and drop your back heel down. Ground down to rise all the way up. Finding your warrior one. Notice if your shoulders are rising way up. See if you can just let them melt away from your ears a little. Send your thumbs up towards the ceiling and then back a little, opening your heart. Nice big breath here. Let's bend elbows, open heart. Exhale, send them up. Bringing elbows down. Inhale, opening heart. Exhale, send them up. Let's take one more time like that here. Nice. Then bringing your hands through heart center, bend that front knee. With that back heel dropped, let's find a block or whatever prop you have at your house and just bring that block inside your front leg. Let's step the back heel up a little more. Straighten your front leg. Grow up and out of your pelvic bowl. So really making space so you're not sort of crunching in, but send that space as if your spine were a slinky. Make it a little longer. Make your crown of head come a little further, and then exhale to fold over that front leg. If you don't have a prop, you can use your leg, although that can be tricky sometimes. You can use soda cans or seltzer cans. That's a good thing to do. If they're full, they're a little easier. And then just exhale over that front leg. And just use your inhale to collect the energy of your mat, your safe space, your quiet, safe space. And breathe it in through your whole body, through your feet, through your legs, up into your hips, a place we sometimes need some space. And then exhale it all the way down, just letting that new space cascade through your spine, letting go of tension. So nice. Your Parsvottanasana. If you've been to my classes before, you know this is my favorite pose. I just love how it makes so much space in our body and how we're so able to breathe in through all of the micro places that hold on to little things. You can really send space. Get rid of that tension, breathe it away. Nice. And then let's plant our hands on either side of that front foot and step back, high plank. Making that space. Maybe knees come down, maybe not, through your low plank. Inhale, up dog, tops of feet come to mat, grow the heart forward. Exhale, down dog. From here, that left leg lifts. Bend that knee. Draw some circles on the ceiling with your left knee. Opening that left side body. Left foot comes forward, dropping back heel down. Those back right toes go towards that upper right corner of your mat. Bending that front knee. Finding space. That right hip dials forward, left hip back. Just taking some time. Making that space in your body. Inhale all the way up with arms. Really taking time to dial right hip forward, left hip back. Open heart. Let's bend our elbows and breathe in. Exhale to lift up. Inhale to bend. Exhale up. One more time. Inhale, open heart. Exhale, lift our arms. Bring hands through heart center. Let's straighten front leg. You might want to walk that back leg up a little and then inhale to grow up and out of pelvic bowl. Exhale to hinge forward over your front leg. Keeping that front leg straight. Breathe that energy from your mat, that sacred space, the space you've created for yourself, and exhale it all the way through your body, seeing if you can even feel how your head can drop down a little more as you really sort of see the progress of making space in your body. You can almost feel that tension melt away and that space replace the tension. Feeling an opening as you breathe away what you don't need. Notice if you're sort of kinking your neck. See if you can drop it down, make it a little more heavy. Let it be a weight that's helping that slinky of your spine open up a little more. Nice. And then bend that front knee and step that right foot forward and ground down to rise up, upward salute. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale through flat back. Plant hands, step back. Maybe this time you go right to down dog. Maybe you go through your chaturanga. What's your body asking for? Nice. Coming up onto your tiptoes and dropping heels down. Let's lift our right leg, bend our right knee again. This time, step your right foot forward outside your right hand and bring your back knee down. And just find your lizard lunge here, whatever that means for you today. Maybe it means that you come all the way into your lizard lunge because it's in your practice and you've been practicing a lot and your body's ready for it. Or maybe, like me, your body's not totally ready to come into your full lizard lunge, and forgive yourself for that because this is an unprecedented time and our regular life doesn't look the way it does right now, and neither will our practice because it's a reflection of our life. So just be okay with wherever that is. Maybe you draw some circles here. What feels good? Close your eyes and let go of what it's supposed to feel like, what it's supposed to look like, and just be here. What feels good here? Maybe some little circles. Maybe you press that right elbow into your calf and that feels good. Nice. Just take a few more breaths to open that hip. Nice. And then let's bring the block or your seltzer cans or whatever you have, your pillow, onto the outside of that foot. Let's walk that foot over, that front foot. Bring your heel onto the mat, your toes off the mat. Bring come onto the tips of your fingers, and again, breathe up and out of pelvic bowl, and then exhale to look over your right shoulder. Just feeling that opening. You can roll onto the pinky toe side of your foot. Activate your toes, make them nice and active, spread them out, and feel that IT band opening. Feel that back of your hamstring open. Breathe space. So nice. Exhale away tension. Exhale away the tightness that's living in your body, possibly. Nice. And then from here, let's bring that block back inside. Let's bend into that front knee and let's lift our arms all the way up. Let's bring our palms together at heart center. Press elbows towards the outsides of the room. Inhale to grow. Exhale to twist, bringing that elbow onto the outside of your right thigh, looking over that right shoulder. Maybe you hang here with your bottom leg on the floor, with your left leg on the floor. Maybe you start to tuck those back toes and lift up and twist a little further. Really thinking of everything you don't need, like a ball of energy, collecting it in your belly, and wring your belly out. Break that ball up and breathe away those little pieces you don't need anymore. So nice. Let's bring that left hand onto the floor. Raise that right arm up. Breathe so strong into that, and then place both hands on the floor. Step back, high plank. Bend elbows through your low plank. Inhale to lift up. Lifting knees on tops of feet. Exhale, roll over, lifting hips. Down dog. Pedaling it out. That left leg lifts. Bending that left knee, left foot steps forward, back knee comes down. Again, hands inside front leg. And just finding that lizard lunge, however it looks for you today. So maybe you're rolling hips around. Maybe you're in your full lizard lunge on your forearms. Maybe your hips are feeling very open today. Maybe you're up on a pillow or a block. And again, notice if you're slouching into your body. See if you can really lift up through your crown of head. Make space between your vertebrae. And exhale to drop a little deeper into the pose without sort of rounding and slouching into your body. Keeping that length. So nice. And when you're ready, if you've got that prop, you've got your pillow or your soda cans or whatever you've got, bring that left foot, the heel on the mat, toes off, straighten that leg out. Bring your prop on the outside, grow through your spine, and then twist over, looking over that left shoulder. You can roll onto that left pinky toe, side of foot. Spread your toes out. Making all that space, feeling that breath travel up your IT band, maybe into the back of your thigh. Melting away what you don't need with breath. Nice. Another big breath here and exhale to twist. And come back through center and plant that foot down. Square your hips, send them forward just so that they're over that back knee. And then breathe your hands up. Bring them through your heart center together and bring that right elbow outside of left thigh, rotating around. Maybe you hang here. Maybe you tuck your back toes and lift that back thigh. Wringing out, breathing out what you don't need.
Nice. Really trying to focus on your breath, on your inhale, on your exhale. And then you can bring that back knee down. Then square your front foot. Step your foot back, your front foot back. Press crown away from tail. Maybe you take it through that chaturanga. Maybe you meet in down dog. Taking what you need. Pedaling heels out. Let's lift our right leg again and step our right foot forward. Dropping back heel down, finding your warrior two pose. I'm just going to turn around so I'm facing you. So that right foot's forward. Back heels drop down. So that right foot's forward, back heels drop down. Finding your warrior two. Pressing crown away from tail. Finding your warrior two. Right foot intersects back arch, or maybe you've got heel to heel alignment today. Notice if your shoulders are rising up. See if you can soften them down a little. The front knee is over your front pinky toe because that front thigh is an external rotation. Back thigh is an internal rotation. Inhale to grow. Exhale to sit a little deeper into the pose. Flip front palm. Lift up and then back. Breathe into that right side body. Notice if you're crunching on your left. Can you breathe up towards the ceiling and then send it back? And from here, let's bring that right hand forward onto your prop, or maybe you can bring your right hand onto your thigh. That left arm comes up and over left ear. That left arm comes up and over left ear. If you've got that prop, then it's on the inside of your front foot, and you're rotating around that spine towards the ceiling. Breathe that left side so long. Nice. From here, let's bring that top arm behind us and just breathe that shoulder open. If it feels okay to you, start to lift up and off that thigh, and then bring your hand, fingertips, onto your prop or maybe onto the floor. Bend into that front leg, step the back foot up a little, and come up into your half moon, lifting that left leg, lifting that left arm. Maybe your fingertips are on the floor. Maybe your left toes are on the floor today. Maybe the balance isn't totally there for you right now. Taking what you need, lift up a little higher. And then we'll meet at the front of your mat in a forward fold. So just taking hands to elbows, or maybe peace fingers around big toes. Inhale to grow. Exhale to drop down, releasing. A little bend in your knees can feel good. Some swaying can feel good. Shaking your head yes and no. Hang here for as long as feels good to you. And when you're ready, let's take that sun A, bringing our feet back together, bending knees to lift up. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale through flat back. Plant hands, step back, high plank, press crown away from tail. Exhale down through your low plank. Press into hands, press into tops of feet, grow your heart forward. Exhale, down dog. Ha. Taking a few breaths here. Down dog. Taking a few breaths here. Staying as long as you need, as long as you like. I'm going to turn around. You stay where you are. That left leg's going to lift up. Bending the left knee. Left foot steps forward. Back heel drops down. Cartwheel up. Warrior two. That front knee comes over that front pinky toe again in that external rotation. The back leg rotates in an internal rotation. Send your shoulder blades towards one another and see if you can soften in them. Breathing into the strength of your warrior. Let's flip our front palm, lift up and then back. Notice if you're crunching into that right side, lift up and over that, send that left hand back. What happened in that front knee? Bend a little deeper. Find that strength there. And then that left arm comes onto your front thigh or maybe onto a prop inside your front foot. That left knee bends a little deeper. That right arm comes up and over. That right arm comes up and over your ear. Breathing so deeply here. Maybe your gaze is on the floor today because your neck is feeling a little tender. Take care of yourself. Do what feels best to you, not what you think you should be doing. Let's bring that right hand to your hip. Step that back foot up a little more. Bring that block or the soda can, seltzer can, underneath your shoulder. Lift up. Bring that right leg with you. Bring the crown away from tail. Bring that top arm towards the ceiling. Notice those left toes on the floor. Mine like to inch in towards the center of my foot. See if you can keep them facing forward. Lift up a little higher. Nice. And then at the front of your mat, bring your heels onto the mat, toes off, and make your way down to a squat pose. I always say I like to do this like my dog does. He takes his time getting down into the squat pose. So take your time there. Just wiggling yourself into place. Maybe a block or a pillow under your tail. Palms come to heart center. Send your elbows between your thighs to open up. Close your eyes. Breathing. Really sending your inhale through the top of your head and your exhale to drop your tailbone down a little more. Letting go of anything you don't need. Your right arm comes down in front of your leg, palm to the floor. Press that forearm, that bicep into your leg and send that left arm up and around. Really opening up that space between your shoulder blades, breathing. Maybe roll your wrist around a few times. Give yourself a little wrist opening and then switch sides. The left hand comes to the floor. Right hand comes up, rotating around a few times. Nice. Nice. And then again, pressing into your biceps or the triceps here and lifting your hips up. Keep your feet nice and wide here and take that forward fold wide. Maybe even walk your feet out a little more. Come up onto your fingertips. Send your crown of head forward. Make that spine long and out of your pelvic bowl and then hinge forward. A little wider of a forward fold here. Feel that nice opening in your hamstrings, maybe a little wiggle of the hips. And just taking what you need. Let's walk our feet back together and ground down to rise up, upward salute. Palms back through heart center. The stepping to find your balance here. Heels are slightly out in your mountain pose. Toes are facing forward. Just a very gentle tuck of the pelvis. Not much at all. Breathe your spine long. Exhale to melt into the pose. So finding that balance between growth and roots in every pose. We prepare for our tree. Let's lift our feet and widen our toes and then place them down, making the base a little wider, sending the roots into the ground a little more. And then let's bring our right foot into kickstand, or maybe the foot comes onto the calf. Definitely not on the knee, but maybe into your inner thigh. Press your foot into leg and your leg into foot. Notice this ball of energy that you create and see if you can raise it up and send it into your fingertips. Nice big breath looking towards the ceiling, finding a drishti gaze, an area that's not moving. Sending your breath there, inhaling for the growth. Exhaling for the roots. Finding that balance between finding new avenues, new places, new directions, and still finding our roots, being with our roots. Somewhere in between those two places is this person we're becoming, this person we are in this moment. Somewhere between those two places is the person that we are in this moment. Breathe into that. Exhale to let go of what you don't need. Come out of your pose and step to shake it off. As balances can sometimes be challenging, we can beat ourselves up for them. Just shake it off. As a matter of fact, let's take a little shake. Shake all the way out, all the way, all the way, all the way. Just really noticing anywhere that you're holding on to anything, just totally let it go. You see animals do this all the time. It's really getting rid of that fear, getting rid of that anxiety, using your body to do that. And then finding that stillness in your mountain pose. This time the left foot comes into kickstand, or maybe onto your calf. Maybe into your inner thigh, pressing your foot into your thigh and your thigh into your foot. Finding that ball of energy, letting it rise up. This time, maybe you take a different position with your hands, clasp them together, and send your palms towards the ceiling. Letting your shoulders melt down, sending your hands behind you. Nice big smile. Maybe you fall over and that's okay. Just be where you are. Nice. Letting go again, doing that shaking, really shaking into all of the places in your body, and your shoulders, really shake them out, and your hips, really shake them out, and your hands and fingers and knees and legs and thighs and everything. Just shake it out and then find your stillness. Let's flow to the mat. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale through flat back. Plant hands, step back, high plank. Pressing crown away from tail, finding strength. Bending elbows through your low plank. Pressing into hands, pressing into tops of feet, up dog, and send your hips back, down dog. Let's lift our right leg, bend our right knee. Send that right knee to right wrist and set up for your pigeon pose. Maybe you've got a blanket or a pillow that can go under that right hip. Really hang here with your hands on the mat and grow up and out of your pelvic bowl. Maybe this is enough for you today, or maybe you start to come down onto a prop, onto your forearms on a prop. Maybe even if you're feeling it and it feels okay to you, you come onto your forearms on the ground. Check in with your hips though. You want to dial that right hip back and left hip forward, keeping them square. You want to kind of find this balance of hugging them together and sending them forward as one unit. And then exhaling to melt into the pose too without losing that alignment. There's so much going on here in these poses. They're sort of beautifully designed that way so that we are focused in our body and all of those other thoughts have a chance to melt away. Let's breathe here. Notice if there's anywhere you can soften into the pose. Notice if there's anything else you can let go of. And hang here as long as feels good to you. Maybe you pause the video and hang here a little longer. I know one thing that I love more than anything in a practice is a long pigeon pose, so maybe you decide to do that for yourself today. Or you can come with me. Press your hands into the mat, tuck your back toes, lift your hips, bring that right leg with you, lift it into the air, and let's flip your dog. So bring your right foot onto the floor, toes to the back of the mat. Lift your hips up, bring that right hand with you up towards the ceiling and then back towards the wall. Just be where you are in your strength. And then flip yourself back. Down dog, pedal it out. Now that left leg lifts and bends. Opening that up, left knee comes to left wrist. Really taking your time to dial that right hip forward, left hip back. Inhale, heart forward. Maybe there's a prop that your forearms can come down on, sending heart forward. Exhale to melt into the pose. Maybe forearms come onto the floor if that feels okay to you. Maybe it's different than the other side. We want to eventually try to get our two sides even, but our bodies are definitely not symmetrical, and let's just be wherever we are in that. Now, I don't know about you, but my right hip's starting to dial back. I want to dial that right hip forward, left hip back, hugging my hips together. So much going on here in this moment. Inhale, my spine long out of my pelvic bowl, and exhale, maybe my elbows even can walk a little further as I hinge forward into that. See if I can soften. Using your inhale to check in with your alignment and your exhale to soften into that safe alignment. Again, stay here for as long as feels good to you. Pause the video, hang out, breathe, let go of what you're holding on to in your hips. And when you're ready, come with me, pressing hands onto the floor, tucking back toes, lifting hips, bringing that left leg with you, and then flipping all the way over, bringing that left arm up towards the ceiling and then back towards your wall. Lift your hips up higher. Press into those feet to lift a little higher. Lift out of that right shoulder. And then me back in down dog. Pedaling heels out. Let's walk ourselves forward. Bringing legs out in front of us, shaking it out a little. So with those feet out in front of us, let's lift our arms and exhale, fold forward over your legs. Maybe your hands come onto your thighs or your knees or your shins or maybe to your feet. If you're super flexible or you're feeling super flexible today, you can bring a block or a prop in front of your feet and even extend your hands longer, which can feel really nice if you have the room to do that. And let's puff our chest up so we sort of round our ribs, shrug our shoulders up, and then exhale to send heart forward, finding kind of a mini cat-cow here. Just giving us some more space in the upper body. Nice, and then coming back up, let's bend our right knee into our thigh, bringing that foot inside. Inhale up, exhale, fold forward over that leg. Finding that surrender, a little more space in your hamstring. Nice. Let's hook those left fingers, peace fingers on the toe of your left leg. Let's lift that up. Just sort of massage the back of that hamstring a little, giving it a little warmth, a little strength. Giving it a little warmth, a little length, a little space. And then let's bring that foot back into your chest, put it into the crook of your right arm, bring that left arm underneath. Then take those right fingers and weave them between your toes. This is going to be really good when we start wearing our flip-flops. If you're like me, you've already started. This is going to help with plantar fasciitis. If you're running outside, you can use that right thumb to kind of press into that whole arch there too, and just use your fingers to make space in between your toes. If you have any sort of foot pain at all, this really helps you to take the tightness out of your feet. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it, of course, but it can be really helpful. You can even ask your podiatrist if you go to one if this is the right thing for you, because it is a really nice way to get ahead of foot problems too. And breathe in deeply as you roll this around. Nice. Let's switch sides. So bringing that right leg out, that left foot inside the thigh. Inhale up, exhale, fold forward. Breathing into that hamstring, breathing space into your calf, sending toes towards your ankle there. Releasing through head. Let's bring our right peace fingers around our big toe and bend into that right leg and lift up. Just breathing space into that hamstring. Use your left hand to sort of warm that muscle some more. It's pretty warm from your practice, but breathe it a little warmer, and then bend that knee, lift it over the crook of that right hand, that right arm. Use your left hand to weave between your toes. If it's feeling tight, you need it more. So do it. You got this. And then roll your ankle around. You can use that thumb to press into your arch of your foot and just breathe that space into your foot. It's going to feel so nice when you are walking around later and you can really open your toes and use them to walk with to make space. And use your breath, send it to that space between your toes. Why not? And then we'll release that foot, we'll elongate our legs, we'll shake them out, and we'll start to make our way all the way onto our backs. So really growing through crown. Bring your hands behind your thighs and find your boat pose first, bringing toes towards the ceiling. Maybe your hands stay on your thighs. Maybe your palms face the ceiling. Really growing, feeling that strength, breathing into that strong core. Maybe your body's asking you for more core today. So hang here. Maybe you even take a prop and sort of do some twisting side to side. We're not going to do that right now together, but feel free to pause the video and do it. And then exhale, come all the way down to the mat. Let's hug our knees into chest and rock them side to side, opening up that lower back a little more. And then let's bring our feet to the mat and lift our hips. Bring a block underneath, just fine, or a pillow underneath, or I don't know if you want to put your soda cans underneath. I don't think that'd be very comfortable, but palms towards the ceiling. Press into the back of your head and lift up in your chest. Lift your chest up to the ceiling and then set it down so that your shoulders kind of naturally roll underneath you gently. Find that supported bridge. Just breathing into that heart opener. And then when you're ready, you can lift your feet into the into the air and just press your heels towards the ceiling. Spread your toes wide. Breathe a little more space between your toes. And when you feel ready, point your toes, open them up, point your toes, flex them. And let's bring our feet to the mat, lift our hips, remove our prop, whatever it is, and bring your hips over to the right side of your mat. Drop your knees down to the left and take a gentle twist. Really wringing out and breathing away anything you don't need. Really imagining anything you're still holding on to as these little magnetic pieces that are all coming together in one ball in the center, and then using your energy to break it up and just send it right out with your breath. Let's do that on the other side. Bringing feet to the mat, lifting hips, moving them over to the left, dropping knees to the right. That left arm opens. Bringing out and breathing out what you don't need. Nice. And then coming back through center, let's lift our feet into the air one more time. Your Viparita Karani, legs up the wall pose. If it feels good in your house, maybe you bring your legs against a wall and find that support there, and maybe even take your final resting posture there. Spread your toes, notice the space you made. So good to let go of any extra fluid in our bodies. When you feel ready, start to elongate your legs on the mat. Let your palms face the ceiling. Come into your final resting posture, your Shavasana. Scan your body for any areas that are still. Scan your body for anything that doesn't serve you, and see if you can soften, breathe it away, make a little more space.
Take as long as you need in your Shavasana. And when you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start to roll yourself onto your right side body, curling up around your heart and your fetal posture. Send yourself some breaths of gratitude for finding your send yourself some breaths of gratitude for finding your mat today, for making space in your body, in your mind, in your heart. And with as little effort as possible, start to make your way up to seated, meeting with your palms together at heart center. If it feels okay to you in the space you're in, let's close our practice with one deep Om, feeling those vibrations fill you. Thank you for practicing with me today. The light within me deeply honors the light within you. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all of our first responders. There are so many people that are just making this so much more doable. Thank you to all of those people. Thank you to you for finding your mat, for making space in your life for this today. I miss you all. I look forward to seeing you